Welcome to another episode of the ongoing isolation series. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's going to feature all new footage and all new travels. Now, we're just out here doing a little drive in the countryside, staying away from people so that we don't have any concerns about spreading the virus or things like that. But we had to get out of the house. We had to record something new, and what a better excuse to get out than to do some grain elevator hunting. And we're starting right here in Crossfield, Alberta. Now, recently on the blog, I had just created a list of wooden cribbed grain elevators, both in Alberta and Saskatchewan. The Saskatchewan list was based off of elevators I have personally photographed. The Alberta list was published on a blog called RETROactive, which is run by Alberta Heritage, and they listed all the remaining wooden cribbed grain elevators in Alberta, and I sorted that list based on ones I had photographed and ones I had not. And what became immediately obvious to me is that there were some wooden elevators located pretty close to home that I had not photographed before. So I decided today would be a great day for us to get out on the road and go photograph them and get them off my list. Now, before we leave Crossfield, I just want to take a second and point out this cool old former service station here on the corner of Railway Avenue. That is a neat looking building, and it's good to see that it hasn't been too horribly renovated over the years. This one will certainly not go down on my list of the best elevators of all time. You can tell by the size and the style of it. It's a newer wooden cribbed grain elevator, so still, it is kind of cool. I really like that old UGG logo up at the top there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the way the sun is pointing, but it's neat just from that perspective alone. So with that, it is time to get back in the car, get back on the road, and head off to our next one. Next stop on our little elevator tour is here in Olds, Alberta, in this orange Pioneer elevator. Pioneer being the company, not that it was built by pioneers. You can tell this one is a lot newer than the ones that we typically photograph and find really interesting, which explains why I've never taken a photograph of it prior to today. But it's time to get it off the list. And this is about as close as we're going to be able to get to it. As you can see, they're quite clear about this. Private property, no trespassing, the gate across the road, and 24-hour surveillance. And, that's fine. It's not going to be on my list of favorite grain elevators anyway, so only getting this close is fine with me. They can't all be classics. Well, I don't go anywhere if I can help it without my handheld GPS loaded with geocaches. And we saw one that was called the Berrydale School. And of course, that implies it's an old historic school site. And while I don't think there's going to be a building here, it was only a 7-kilometer detour. And for us, that's nothing. Let's go see what we can find. So yes, as expected, no building, but there is this plaque over here that marks where the school was. So we're about, oh, I think I see it already. There it is, right down in the corner. Berrydale School, District number 409 from 1897. That's one of the older school district numbers I've come across. Yes, I'm enough of a geek, I actually keep a spreadsheet with all of these that I stumble over. There we go. Try and put that log back, which is Little hard to do with one hand. But it's secured and ready for the next finder. Tucker's been patiently waiting for us. We're getting back in the car and getting ready to carry on up north on Highway 2A to the next grain elevator. Next stop on our windy grain elevator tour. This is Niobe. Tried to get in close to the elevator here to block some of the wind noise. According to what I saw online, this elevator was built in 1981, and as you can see from the logo up there, it's currently owned by the Canada Malting Company. And again, I apologize for the wind. It's kind of cool to still see one of these elevators being used for its actual purpose of loading grain cars. If you couldn't tell from the colors, it's easy to identify this as a former Alberta wheat pool elevator. Right in there, you can still see a faint outline of the old Alberta wheat pool logo, long since painted over. Okay, well, that's Niobe, or Niobe. I'm assuming Niobe, since that's what I keep calling it. Anyway, time to get back on the road and head to the next one as we continue our Great Grain Elevator Hunt 2020 or something along those lines. I don't know, there's no name for what we're doing. And this is going to be our final stop on our little grain elevator tour today. This is Kuusamo, Alberta, and I'm just going to get you a shot of the elevator over here. I will likely throw in a couple of the pictures I took from the highway of this one, because you can't get a really good view of it from back here. I can zoom in a little bit and let you see that it is another one of those larger, newer elevators. You know, I would say it's anywhere probably from the late 70s through to the mid 80s if I had to put a date on the construction of that one, just based on the size and the style. Currently owned by CFR Chemicals, and this is a little concerning. The lost time accidents, nothing is listed, and spill or release free days, nothing is listed. I'll let you draw your own conclusions from there. So, adhering to the no trespassing sign, that's as close as we're going to get. Like I said, I did take a couple pictures from the highway that I'll share in this section as well, just so you can see it from a different angle. But for now, we're going to wrap that up and start heading back home. We've traveled about 200 kilometers today. The way home will probably be a more direct route, so it won't be quite as long, but it's still going to take us a while to get home, and there's some rain clouds brewing on the horizon, so it's only a matter of time before things get wet, which is okay. There's a lot of fire bans in place and a lot of need for some moisture. So thanks for coming along on our little self-isolating drive here today, and we will see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.